Hey there, guys. So, we are going to learn about literal equations today. And so, to kickstart, we first want to know how to solve them. So, to solve a literal equation, we are going to use inverse operations, or we can say that we are undoing the operations around our variable that we are looking for. So, in order to use inverse operations, or as we call it, undoing operations, let's make a quick little list off to the side here of what our operations are and which ones undo each other. So, as you can see, we have our add, subtract, our multiply, divide, squaring, and to undo a power of 2, we square root. So that'll be really helpful along the way here, guys. We do have 6 example questions, so feel free to pause the video at any time so that you guys can write these down along with me. All right, so let's take a look at the first one here. Number 1, we want to solve this equation for x. So we are going to box our variable, noticing that we do have a 3 attached to our x, but we want to subtract, instead of adding by 4y, we want to subtract by 4y from both sides of our equal sign. Which, when we subtract by 4y, our 4y that's positive and negative make 0 y's on the left. But over here on the right, we'll write it as 7 minus 4y straight across. And to finish up solving for x, we need to undo the 3. But please note, since they sit side by side, the 3 and the x, there is no add, there is no subtract, there is no division bar. So therefore, we have to undo this multiplication by 3. And how we do that is divide by 3. And we're going to divide everybody on the right side by 3. And when we do that, multiplying and dividing by 3 undo each other, leaving us with x equals 7 minus 4y all over 3. So very much like solving normal equations. For number 2, we are solving for p. So we're going to box anything that is directly associated with p. So notice here on our left side, we need to undo subtraction by 5c. So on both sides of our equal, we are going to add 5c to both sides of the equal sign. So our 5c's undo each other, and we're left on the right side with 9m plus 5c. Now, to get p completely by itself, we need to undo that operation of multiplying by 4. And to do that, we divide by 4 on both sides of our equal sign. Again, divide by everything on the right side by 4. So we are going to be left with p equals 9m plus 5c, all divided by 4. We successfully got p completely by itself, so we have solved completely. All right, so let's take a look at number 3. Number 3, we want to solve for t. So when we're looking at t here, we need to figure out what is going on. So notice on the right side with t, there is no add, subtract, and there is no division bar, but there is a lot going on over there with t. So I'm just going to box t because right now it should be blaring at you that we are multiplying t by p and by r. So since we're multiplying by both of those two variables, we can reverse those or undo them by dividing by p and r to both sides of our equal sign. And when we do that, we end up with t equals I over PR, which we got T completely by itself. Number 4, we are looking to get H by itself. So we are going to box H. And we need to look at these operations going on. I know a lot of you are probably freaking out over that division right there. I see a divide sign. So as soon as you see a divide sign, we know that we need to undo that with multiply. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the right side by 3 and multiply this left side by 3. So now we'll have 3 times V equals, our 3 divided by 3 will undo each other, leaving us with BH. Now to finish this guy up, we have to get H completely by itself. The B is still being multiplied by it. So to finish our equation, we need to not multiply by B, but undo that by dividing by B. So we'll be left with little h is equivalent to 3v all over b. All right, guys, only 2 more to go. Let's see how we do. So taking a quick peek here, we're looking at number 5. We want to solve for y. So notice y is attached to the x in the upper part of the equation. So our first operator that we want to undo is this division bar by m. So how do we undo divide? Well, we multiply. So we're going to multiply both sides by m. And when we do that, we can put this as PM or MP, it doesn't matter. And we are equal to here. When we multiply and divide by our m on the right side, it undoes the operation, leaving us with xy. And to finish, we need to get y completely by itself, which means I cannot have this x in front of it. So what operation is happening there since they're side by side? I bet you're saying multiply. So how do I undo multiply? We divide by. So let's divide by the x to both sides, and we end up getting y equals, I don't think you can see that, there we go. Y equals PM divided by x. We solve for y. All right, one last one just for fun and giggles. We are doing E equals mc squared, a very sciencey type equation, and we're solving for m. So notice what's going on over here with m. M has this c squared right beside it, so we are going to undo that operation by dividing by c squared. So when we undo that multiplication by c squared, we should end up with m equals E divided by c squared. All right, guys, it's time to practice.